Totally net sales for the group increased by 4% during last year. We had a stable demand during the first quarter, but during the second and third quarter, sales for comparable units decreased by 6 to 7%. During our last quarter, the decrease was only 2%. Totally, the sales growth came from acquisitions, and thanks to these acquisitions and thanks to that the tax rate in Sweden was lower during the last quarter, we were able to maintain our earnings per share on the same level as the year before. And by that, the board of directors also propose an unchanged dividend of 8 kronor per share. Totally, one could say that half of the group's operations has had decreasing markets, and the other half stable and in some areas growing markets. There's a number of manufacturing customers that has decreased their production rate during the autumn, mostly within the vehicle and other engineering industries. We have many companies or subsidiaries in our group that runs very well, and they work towards the healthcare sector and the energy segment. If we look at different geographies, it's mostly the Swedish and Danish market that has been affected negatively, while other Nordic markets and operations outside of the Nordic region has had more stable market conditions. Totally, we still lose some in volume during the last quarter, but in a lower pace than the previous quarters, which is a positive trend. In a decreasing market, it's always tough to be efficient with your working capital. That's why we focused already more than a year ago to reduce our working capital and foremost our inventory, so we could continue to have a good cash flow also with a lower volume. During the year, we've had many subsidiaries that still has had good markets and done good results, so they have been allowed to continue to go for their targets. But in the companies where we saw that demand decreased during the autumn, we have worked actively with cost-saving measures. This work has already given a small positive effect, but the effect will increase during coming quarters. There is a great spread between different customer segments and geographies. In the industries that has had a tougher markets, our feeling is that many customers are more willing to discuss new projects today than previously during the year. But it's probably too soon to say that we've seen a turnaround. Our companies are generally very flexible and good to find alternative sales that could replace some of what they lose. My feeling is that we've taken market shares in several segments during last year, so if the markets turn back up a bit going forward, we can get a good leverage. The good markets within healthcare and energy seems to be able to continue to develop in a good way. We have had a good cash flow and a strong balance sheet, so we have chosen to make a number of acquisitions. Totally, we made 8 acquisitions last year with an annual sales of 590 million kronor. And also we made one acquisition with annual sales of 150 million kronor in the beginning of the new fiscal year. Considering that the underlying demand totally has been somewhat deteriorating during the year, we've been a bit more selective. So the acquisition that we made are made in industries that has been a little bit more stable during the year. Only one, but a very important thing. A great thanks to my colleagues in the Addtech group that has fought hard during the year. Some of them has fought hard on good markets, and some has had to fought in headwinds, but they've done it very, very well. It's this willpower and pride that makes our subsidiaries to good long-term partners for our customers and suppliers.